Hello and welcome back to the Daily Devotional for John R. Wood staff and agents. Today is September 17th. It's my birthday. And our topic from Keeping It Personal is string of pearls with a question mark. Our verse for today comes from Revelation chapter 21, verse 21, which says, "The 12 gates were made of pearls, each gate from a single pearl." Did you know that the lovely pearl is a product of pain? For some unknown reason, the shell of an oyster gets pricked and an alien substance, a grain of sand, slips inside. Upon the entry of that irritant, all the resources within the sensitive oyster rush to that spot and begin to release healing fluids. By and by, the irritant is covered and the wound is healed by a pearl. No other gem has so fascinating a natural history. The pearl is the symbol of stress, a healed wound, a precious jewel conceived through irritation. There could have been no pearl if there had been no wounding in the first place. Some oysters are never wounded. And what happens to these? They are tossed aside, fit only for oyster stew. We all have had an irritant slip inside our hearts for some unknown reason. And when that irritant becomes recognized, all the resources within us rush to that spot of pain. What happens then determines whether we will have a string of pearls or merely oyster stew. I love that. Pearls are very fascinating. So if you're into that kind of stuff, pearls are definitely a good read if you like some nonfiction reading materials while you're at the beach, maybe. Very cool. I do love pearls, freshwater especially. Very, very, very pretty and truly fascinating how they just take that healing fluid and it just builds up around that grain of sand and it becomes this beautiful pearl. And there are so many times in life where, we get a little wound. And sometimes it's a big wound and sometimes it's just a little tiny prick, right? How we heal that determines whether or not, how we react to that irritant determines whether or not we end up with a pearl or we end up in oyster stew. And if you read The Slight Edge, that might be a slight edge choice. I guess it depends on your situation, but I would bet money. So let's make it personal today. What irritant is creating a potential pearl in your life right now? Think on that today and cultivate that pearl with your healing and your choices so that you don't end up in this stew. Thanks so much for tuning in today. We'll see you tomorrow.